Alright, so welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to test the ACCRA Shogun series of shafts. All three profiles, the blue, the green, and the red. We're not going to worry about the technical jargon. Kyle's already given you that in the previous video. So our main objective today is to see which Shogun series of shaft I like the best, and then we're going to compare how it performs to the Fujicurve Ventus Blue VeloCore Plus. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, so first up in this test, we're going to try out the Shogun Red. This is a 65 gram M4, so this is a stiff flex shaft. I'm going to use, in this test, for all the shafts, I'm going to use my current gamer head, the Titleist TSR2, in an 8 degrees of loft, set to B1, so a little bit flatter than standard. And my current ball that I game, the Titleist Pro V1X left dash. For each shaft, we're going to hit it 5 shots, try to get 5 casual, normal swing shots. And at the end, with each shaft, I'm going to try to hit a couple a little harder, see how the shaft performs when we try to step on it a little bit more, okay? Let's see how this red feels. Right away, it feels pretty aggressive. That's good. .301. Yes, that's 301 on this. Must have been rounding up. Been pretty consistent so far. Yeah, I like to see that little, just peel to the right. Like, if you know that ball's not going to go to the left, you can trust it a bit more. Oh, there's one a little high in the face. A little high heel. Great knuckle, but it won't left. Yeah. All right. All right, let's see what we can do with a couple hard ones now. All right, so just got done hitting the Shogun Red. My initial thoughts on it, it's a fairly aggressive shaft. It kind of surprised me a bit. Feel-wise, it's going to be kind of in that range of like Ventus TR Blue or maybe even Ventus Black. Definitely more aggressive than Ventus Blue. It's an aggressive shaft. It definitely felt stable. Not a lot of kick feel, but from the shots I hit, it felt very consistent, very stable. So far, definitely liking the... If the rest of the shafts feel like this, we're going to like this series a lot. So this was a good starting out point. All right, so next up in the test, we've got the Shogun Green and a 65 M2. This is the profile I'm probably most looking forward to trying because it is theoretically the most similar to the Ventus Blue profile I've been playing. So this is more of a mid-launching shaft, similar, like I say, in profile and flex and feel to the Ventus Blue. So kind of looking forward to this one. That's it better. Yeah, it's hit really solid. I say it's funny now that the ball's staying out right with everything. That was good. All right, let's put a little effort into it here. I mean, that was hit good. It's just hanging right on me for some reason. I mean, trust me, I would play that all day on the golf course. Yeah. I definitely feel like I can put more into this shaft. I don't know what that speed was. Yeah, 119, so that's the fastest club head speed I've been able to get. So like, it's funny, as much as I'm struggling to kind of square it up, I find it easiest to create speed with this one. I think it's just because it's a bend profile similar to what I'm used to. All right, so just got done hitting the Shogun Green. My initial thoughts are, even though this is a similar profile to shafts I've been playing for a while now, it took me a couple swings to kind of get the timing of it. But once I did, the shaft seemed to respond really well. I liked how ball flight wise, the ball was pretty much starting on line and just maybe falling a bit to the right. It didn't feel like the shaft had that kick feeling where it wants the ball to go very left, even though I did hook a couple. But then what I did like is when I started to swing a little harder at it, it felt like I was able to get a little more speed out of this shaft. It responded well for me and my tempo and how I time it to create a little bit more speed versus the red. So kind of interesting to see that in that more mid-flight profile. All right, so on to the blue. Okay, so finally in this test, we've got the Shogun Blue. This one is the 40 M0, this is gonna be a fun one to end on. The M0 has kind of been likened to an autoflex killer type of shaft. Not really a shaft that I would ever play or really even consider, but we, talking to our guys from True Temper and ACCRA, have seen some success with this on some of the long drive tours, so we'll see how it does. This is a little bit higher flighting shaft, and obviously at the M0, it's a very soft shaft, so let's see how it reacts. It's pretty flexible. So I'm kind of afraid to lean on it. Giving it the waggle test, you can feel it soft. This is kind of like a 1 on the tempo scale for me. I do have smooth tempo. I mean, I've hit the center of the face every single time. That might have been the worst one I hit, and it was barely like high toe. Just gonna go to the same place though. All right, let's see how many that was. All right, so we've been cruising, having some more casual shots out there. Let's see if we can develop some speed with this. My initial thought is I don't feel like I'm gonna be able to swing much faster. It's because of how soft this is in handle. Like I can feel this waggling under my left hand right now. I mean, just kind of jumped out of the way of it. I got some speed on it, but I didn't hit it good. I can't hit one much more solid than that, Miles. I don't know how far it's going to go, but let me hit one more with it just to see if I can. Yeah, I'm going to try to cover it a little bit more. Is that spinning at what, 28? Yeah, if I could knock that down. Yeah, well, I hit it a little low in the face. If I can keep that same strike, but just cover it a bit. What's that launch at? 15. I mean, I hit that good. If I could get that same kind of energy out of the red or the green though, I'm probably going to hit that 10 or 15 miles. Okay, so takeaway on the Shogun Blue, I would actually probably say this shaft surprised me the most. I had very low expectations for a shaft that's this soft and this flexible. But with those first few swings, just kind of hitting it normally, it was actually very responsive. I mean, it's definitely whippy. I probably wouldn't recommend it for quicker tempos or even quicker swing speeds. But if you're a golfer kind of in that 90-mile-an-hour range, or even maybe a little lower, or just not quite reaching 100-mile-an-hour ball or club head speed, this might be a great shaft for you. It definitely felt extremely easy to swing and easy to time and get some easy distance with, to the point where like I was able to get my fastest club head speed with it when I swung it hard. It's just for me at that point, I was generating too much spin. I couldn't control the spin, so I didn't get the launch outwards as much with it, but definitely a surprisingly good shaft. I was impressed with that. All right, so now taking a look at our comparisons of the Shogun series and kind of some main takeaways. We have the Shogun Red. Honestly, all three shafts were impressive. I'll start there. Shogun Red and Shogun Green performed very similar for me. If we look at our launch angle, 13.5 versus 12.7. So a little bit higher launch than Shogun Red, which sounds counterintuitive, but not really. Backspin rate of 21.16 in Shogun Red versus 22.02 in the Shogun Green. What we find there is because the red launched slightly higher but spun slightly less than the green, those two golf balls ended up in virtually the same place. We did have, on average, 6 yards more carry with the Shogun Red because of that higher ball flight. The ball had a chance to stay in the air for a little bit longer. And what we're going to look at here in just a moment with, we'll go to club data. And we'll take a look at still comparing the red versus the green. In the red, we can see that my strike location happened a little bit higher in the club face versus the Shogun Green. So that's actually why I hit a lower launching shaft higher than a higher launching shaft. And also why it probably spun slightly less as well too. From a playing point or perspective, since these two shafts performed very similarly, I mean, a ball flight, I could play either one of those. Which one of those shafts would I want to take to the golf course with me and trust as my shaft and my driver to play golf with? I'm picking that Shogun Red. And the reason why is because the strike location was a lot better. I felt with that one a little bit more comfortable delivering the club head and making a center strike, especially when we look at that table where we have all the individual shots. You'll see the consistency there with the strike. It's happening in basically the same place. That gives me the confidence to go ahead and trust it and hit it on the golf course. With the green, my main takeaway on it and why I wouldn't pick it for me, obviously this is just for me, is because there were a couple swings where I hit it slightly toe and I could feel that face closing down when I did that and the ball went way left. Well, obviously we deleted those. They didn't help out the comparison between the shafts. But having those couple swings, if I'm playing on a golf course, if I make that swing one time, I no longer trust that golf club. I'm afraid I'm going to hit that snap hook, and now I'm probably blocking on the right. So when we talk about different profiles and shafts and making sure you get the right profile for you, what's important is finding the shaft that you time up well enough to make a consistent strike to get the ball flight you want. And for me, that was a Shogun Red. Now if we go back and look at the numbers on the Shogun Blue, it's pretty interesting. So there we had the Shogun Blue with an M0, a very, very flexible shaft. You would generally think when I'm averaging like 115 in club head speed that I could never play that shaft. However, if we look at the ball speed, I had a 167.4 ball speed. I hit that shaft really well. Why didn't it go as far as the others? It was 6 yards shorter than the Shogun Green and basically 12 yards shorter than the Shogun Red in carry. And the reason why is because it spun so much more. And essentially that's just because that shaft's a little more flexible. I wasn't able to keep that spin rate down, even though using the TSR 2 and 8 degree head is going to be a pretty low spinning head in the driver shaft. Again, I will say, if you're someone who's probably just below 100 mile an hour club head speed, like that 90 to 100 mile an hour club head speed, that's a shaft you probably want to try out because it felt extremely easy to swing and time up and strike it well. For me and my tempo, I just couldn't keep the spin off of it. Now what I would like to do is compare the Shogun Red, the Shogun shaft that I liked the most compared to the Ventus, our control shaft, and see how those two shafts stack up against each other. So what we can see here now, looking at the ball data, what did the golf ball do? Again, that high launch and low spin of that Shogun Red, because that strike location, is carrying it through here again. So if I was had to pick between whether I want to stick with a gamer of a Ventus Velocore Blue, or if I want to switch that Shogun Red, I would be pretty hard pressed to not switch that Shogun Red. Having more launch and less spin is always a good thing, in moderation, I guess I should say. But the fact that the strike location, again, if we go to the club data, we'll see, again, that strike happening a little bit higher in the club face. Pretty centered with the Ventus as well there too, but just slightly higher in that face is getting me a little bit more launch, a little bit less spin, and kind of controlling that ball flight for me. And if I'm going to compare those two as well, the Ventus Blue and the Velocore is just a little bit softer profile. So again, kind of like the Shogun Green, I have that swing every now and then where I hit it a little bit high toe and that ball goes way left, and I don't like that feeling. I did not get that feeling with the Shogun Red. So from a playability standpoint, the Shogun Red again wins that comparison. I think overall, ACCRA has done a really good job with the Shogun series of shafts. They are definitely good performing shafts. They have a good feel. And you've got three distinct profiles. If you're more aggressive tempo, you're probably going to like that Shogun Red. If you're a little bit more of a moderate tempo, to faster tempo, you'll probably like that Shogun Green. If you're someone that's been playing Ventus Blue for a while, that Shogun Green may give that Ventus Blue a run for its money. And then, like I say, if you're a little smoother tempo swinger, that Shogun Blue could be a really good performing shaft for you. Overall, I'm impressed with all of them. With that closes the video. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you.